Well, good afternoon. I hope you're having a good day. I had a rough start to mine, but the word says His mercies are new every morning, so I'm looking for those mercies today. I think I'd like to start leaving a tip once in a while for maybe a easier way to do a ketogenic diet when you first start, especially. And my tip today would be look into finding an electrolyte supplement, particularly in the early weeks and months of the diet. You tend to burn through electrolytes. I am not suggesting you go buy Gatorade or a sugar-free Gatorade. Mostly that's pretty junky and won't, give you some of the things you might need. When Dave and I first started, we often just added a little bit of salt, a little bit of no salt, to our coffees, believe it or not, because we had given up sugar, so that flavoring of having a little bit of salt helped us tremendously. And then we also looked in and found a few, at the time they were slightly sweetened packets of something I picked up at Walmart, I believe. And you want to make sure what the sweetener is that it's a fake sweetener, so you won't get the calories, and so you got to look at that kind of carefully. Nowadays, if I'm using anything at all, it's Element, and I still use a flavored one maybe once a day, and they've got some great flavors, but they also make an unflavored packet. So for those of you who are starting to realize you have a sugar addiction and you're just far enough along to know that you want to eat anything with sugar in it, I would suggest you might get some unflavored. But the inexpensive way is use a little salt, use a little no salt, so you get the potassium and the sodium you need. And if you have any questions about whether or not you really need salt, just wait till you get a good headache in the beginning weeks of doing ketogenic diet, and you'll realize, I think I do need salt. And I might need a little potassium. And I might need to boost my magnesium a little bit, which I still do to this day. I supplement with a little bit of magnesium in the evenings because I had terrible leg cramps for a long time when I first started, and I just don't have those anymore. So that's my tip for Monday here. All right, let me get to what I really think I'm supposed to be sharing with you today. And this is a verse. I've had it on my mind for days. I thought it was just something the Lord was speaking to me, but I actually believe that I am supposed to read this to you today. And I think there's somebody out there who may be missing someone who has already passed on, somebody they loved. And for us as Christians, we have some great promises in God, don't we? We have a promise for eternity. And the thing I want to emphasize today, we have a promise of seeing our loved ones again. The other thing I want to point out as you hear this passage is that He is coming again. He is returning. We don't know that day or that hour, but He is returning, and we can take great comfort in that, especially in dark days when we feel things are just not going the way we want them to go, or even beyond that. We think that the darkness in the world is turning into gross darkness. When we have those days, when we look around and see those things, I think we need the encouragement of the Lord's return. So here's my verse today. I would actually say here's my several verses today. I'm just going to read them to you. Actually, they pulled these up in the New King James Version, so I hope you enjoy that. This is 1 Thessalonians 4, and I am starting in verse 13. And this is what Paul wrote to the church. But I do not want you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning those who have fallen asleep, lest you sorrow as others who have no hope. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so God will bring with Him those who sleep in Jesus. Of course, that means those who have already died. For this we say to you by the word of the Lord, that we who are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord will be by no means precede those who are asleep, those who have already died in Christ. For the Lord Himself will descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and with the trumpet of God. And the dead in Christ will rise first. Then we who are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And thus we shall always be with the Lord. Therefore comfort one another with these words. Some of you, I know, have had grievous things happen. You've lost people you love. And, let's be honest. We're living in days where We always are hearing words of someone we know having a stroke, someone we know having a heart attack, someone we know passing away from cancer. All of these things are happening in our world, and indeed it's part of life, isn't it? We know death is a part of life. So today I want to encourage you with these words. He's returning. He's coming back for us. He has that kind of love for us. And you know, I'm not sure why the Lord had me sharing this today, but I am believing by faith that He has someone that needed to be encouraged. One of you needed to hear this today. And I just want to bless you. I want to wish you a wonderful week in Christ. Keep your eyes upon the Lord, and He will encourage you. He is the author and finisher of your faith. All right, God bless. Until next time.